Outdoor fire pits have grown in popularity over recent years. They make a great focal point for social gatherings and enhance the usability of your outdoor space. While a wood fire pit can be a quick and inexpensive solution, the smoke, flying embers, and ash disposal make gas-fueled fire pits a much more desirable option. In this video, we will discuss the components that make up a gas fire pit, and later we'll demonstrate the construction of one using concrete blocks. Keep in mind that working with natural gas or liquid propane is extremely hazardous. This video is intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered a training resource. It's recommended that you hire a qualified contractor to install gas supply lines and appliances. Always follow local codes as well as the manufacturer's installation, operation, and safety instructions. Whether you plan to build a square, rectangular, or round fire pit, there are a variety of manufactured stone blocks available. In our demonstration, we'll be assembling a traditional round fire pit using rumblestone blocks from Pavestone. The wedge shape of these trapezoid blocks, along with the smaller mini blocks, will promote uniformity as well as give us some flexibility in the final diameter of the pit we build. Our burner system is from Fire Gear Outdoors. We've chosen to go with this manufacturer because of the options that are available when it comes to the shape and size of the pit being constructed. More importantly, they offer ignition systems that are UL listed, so we know that they have met recognized standards for safety. In order to get started, you will first need to know the approximate outside diameter of the fire pit you would like to build. This will determine what block options are available to create that size without having to make cuts. Once you've selected your block style, you can then determine the final inside diameter your blocks will make. This measurement is required in order to choose a burner system that properly fits that inside diameter. We have selected a burner system that uses a disc as its base. Since the disc sits between block layers, this option will give us a few more inches of flexibility with the final inside diameter of our pit. Another option uses a pan to contain the fire media. The pan has an outer lip that rests on the top course of the block. If you choose this style, be sure to select a size that will fit snugly into the inside diameter of your pit. The next decision you'll need to make is what type of fuel you are going to use. Whether you plan to use natural gas or liquid propane, we recommend that you contact your gas utility company for assistance in locating a licensed contractor to run the supply line to your pit. Many of the burner systems manufactured by Fire Gear Outdoors are set up for natural gas connections. A propane conversion kit is required for liquid propane fuel sources. Since our demonstration fire pit is not intended to be a permanent structure, we will not have a gas supply line to connect to. Instead, we'll use a 20-pound liquid propane tank to provide the fuel. We'll make the connection to the key valve using a propane hose. After determining your fuel source, you can select the type of ignition system you would like to use, match throw or thermocouple. Match throw is similar to using a gas grill. You turn on the gas while using a lighter or optional push-button spark ignition system to light the flame. A thermocouple system is a better option as it provides a layer of safety. Thermocouples are designed to shut off the flow of gas should the loss of flame cause the temperature to drop below its operating requirement. Depending on the burner system you've selected, a faceplate specifically designed for block fire pits will house the key valve, spark ignition system, or thermocouple ignition controls. The key valve is used to open the flow of gas from the supply source to the burner system. It has a removable key to limit the potential for accidental opening of the valve when the system is not in use. Once you have your fire pit planned out and materials on hand, you can start putting it all together. The location of your fire pit should allow for proper clearance from combustible materials on all sides. At least 96 inches of clearance is required above the fire pit and no less than 36 inches on any side. Your fire pit should be built on a level, stable surface with adequate water drainage. The base course of the block is the most important, since this will determine the levelness and the final inside diameter of the fire pit. Check the level of each trapezoid block as you go. Once you've completed the base course, use a 4-foot level to check for accuracy across opposing sides. Take measurements to verify that the inside diameter of the pit is consistent all the way around. An important safety feature of a gas fire pit is cross ventilation. Should the flame go out or if a leak occurs in the system, Proper ventilation will help to prevent gas from building up under the pan or disc. This is especially important if you are not using a thermocouple system. The main thing to keep in mind is that you have a minimum of 18 square inches of ventilation across opposing sides of your pit to allow a free flow of air. As you build each course, be sure that the first trapezoid you put down is centered precisely before adding subsequent blocks. Your third course should include the ignition faceplate for the burner system. Before you install the faceplate, complete the third course using concrete adhesive to bond the second and third courses together. Use just enough to help hold each block in place. Remember not to use the adhesive on the trapezoid you plan to replace with the faceplate. This particular faceplate has an adjustment section that can be attached to better match the width of the block you are using. Depending on the height of the block, you may need to trim the top of the ignition faceplate to size or notch the block itself to ensure a proper fit. The faceplate should sit just inside the outer edge of the block. Self-tapping screws are included with the kit that will allow you to secure the faceplate to the block it rests on. At this point, you are ready to install the burner system. Using the included gas flex line, connect the burner to the outflow side of the key valve. An additional flex line will likely be needed to connect the supply line to the inlet side of the key valve. Be careful not to over-tighten these connections. Be aware that thread tape or other sealants should not be used on flanged fittings. Making sure that the key valve is in the closed position, open the shutoff valve to the supply line. Next, slowly open the key valve while using a butane lighter or optional spark ignition system to light the flame. Once you have verified that the burner system is working properly, close the key valve and main shutoff valve to extinguish the flame. When installing the final layer of block, follow the same centering process as in the previous courses. After your final course of block has been installed, you can add your fire media. Fire media includes lava stones, rocks, and boulders, as well as fiberglass and logs. Regardless of the decorative finishing material you may want to use, you will start with a base of lava rock. Refer to the manufacturer's product guide to determine the total amount of material you will need for the size fire pit you have. In our fire pit, we are using lava rock only. The final step is to test the system again to make certain that you have a good steady flame. A possible reason for failure to ignite or poor burner performance could be an excess of media inhibiting the burner's ability to function properly. You can find all of the materials we use today and more at your local Ewing branch. Our service professionals can help you with design options and determine the materials you will need to complete the job. For more information, visit us online at ewingirrigation.com.